teams. There is much to be done.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Midnight here to bring you another 5-0 run. This time for the Gauntlet, Prodigal, and this is a pretty strong deck. It's pretty similar to some of the other Bellona decks that I've played. However, it kind of sells out in the early game, to be completely honest. When you have the ability to know that your opponent usually will not have a strong early game or a strong late game because of the format only allowing you to have rare, epic, or legendary cards in your deck, you can really, well, go look through the collection yourself and see how many of the key cards of each pantheon are locked behind common cards. And in knowing that, I built a deck that could survive the early game, build toward an incredibly strong late game, and rely on card drawing through Arges and all the many great rare and above gods that are available to the Roman faction. Give this deck a try. I think it's incredibly powerful, and if you use it correctly, well, I'll let Arnold tell you.
Crush your enemy. See them driven before you and hear the lamentation of their women.
Alright. We got Arnold telling us how to pump some iron, and in game one, we're going to be going with a Roman versus Chinese matchup here. I have a pretty good start. Again, I don't really have a 2-drop that you're going to be playing on 2, so you can always consider turn 1 on the one player's side to be wasted time, but I'm going to guess that a lot of my opponents are going to be missing a lot of drops with how they're going to be building their decks. And we'll see as these games go on. Alright, I'm going to be dropping my archer here that spawns a decrepit bowman. So I'm getting decent value, 3-cost card out of him. Be moving this guy with Invigorate. Invigorate's incredibly strong in this format. The 3-cost silence guy is actually, I think, a common or a free card. I don't remember which one exactly, but it's one of those two, which means that he is not available to be played in this format. So anything that usually is not a good choice because you kind of are selling out on if it gets silenced, you're probably going to lose. That's not the case here at all. And I'd say Invigorate might not necessarily have won me a game directly, but it was so powerful in how many cards he had to use to get rid of it that it's super good, and I'm glad I included it in this list. He hits me with the Rolling Thunder here, which is pretty good. I'm trying to bait out all of his good spell removal before I drop this Sylvanas here. It's just going to come down to a Sylvanas dropped late is usually much stronger when the opponent's removal in hand has already been used up. Sometimes I'll cast it on 6 if I have a really strong board and I'm not against Roman or Egyptian, which can just blow up your board regardless. But feeling pretty good at this point. Just dropping little 2-drops here. So we'll be casting the Sylvanas, moving him forward so that I'm not going to get caught up by something like that. Because of last turn's hero power ability, I am in range to kill this guy without having to use it now. Unfortunately, if I just attacked the base, I would have won right there anyways. but sometimes you get a little overzealous. Not the best starting hand, but always not a bad hand when you start with Venus as well. I'd say Venus is, again, talking about formats where silence is not really prevalent, then it becomes a lot stronger. If you can just leave your Venus in the back of your base and they don't get rid of her somehow, you've already won. She kind of has that effect. It's kind of like Guan Yu. Yeah, it's a great analogy. Guan Yu can kind of get blocked by Ranma, but I think he's common in this, so he wouldn't be in this gauntlet anyways. Remembering about this match, this guy had a pretty good game plan, but because of the early Venus here, I think I got a significant advantage over him. Just following up my Venus with the Gladiator. I'm not really afraid of the little amount of damage that this Behemoth's doing to my Summoning Stone. It's a raw, it's not really a Odin or something, so I'm really focused on holding the board, because if you get behind on board and the opponent uses Annihilate offensively, it's a really easy way of just stomping off any chance the opponent might have had of winning. So it looks like he's gonna be playing what here? On 6 Geb, maybe? Chieftain, Geb, Fury, another Gladiator. Okay. Not really a very impactful turn for him. Not doing anything to improve his situation of getting out of this Venus lock. And now that I have this Activinator, I'm going to be able to really hammer him good. I like to spread out the power in terms of what I have on board. It didn't matter because of the Annihilation. Again, the ultimate board resetter. Even after he resets the board, however, I'm at 5 cards and he's at 4, and all he has on the board after the Annihilation is that Gladiator. So I'm able to quickly recoup, go down to 3 cards to now his 5. But what I have left in my hand being the Power Delve, which is incredibly stronger now, by the way. Some of the things you get out of Power Delve are really stupid. Still, I like getting Fire Giant like as much as I can, but getting Sensuous is pretty nice too. Usually Sensuous is not something you should be able to be casting on 7. So it looks like he's just dropping some tiny poopy characters here. Don't really care about these, but it's more about me wanting to keep my ranged unit alive over here. So I'm going to take down these cats. Oh, the Fanway. Gets a heal off on his Gladiator. Was a Scarab's Blessing on the Fanway. Not really what I would have done, but hey. I'm going to be trading my Sagittarius into his 6/2. Now that I feel that I've kind of dried up a lot of his removal, I'm going to be dropping that Sylvanas and see if he has anything that can challenge it. With limited options, he's very difficult to deal with. He's probably one of my top favorite Roman cards. Power Delve's up there, Bacchus is obviously up there. And it's hard not to like Venus also. I love like so many of the Roman cards. They're really strong and fun. And I don't know if you guys have seen, you should go check out the High Res's YouTube page. They did the patch previews. They're going to get some zany cards for Roman. It's pretty awesome. I'm probably going to do a patch review sometime this weekend. But check that out in the meantime. I think you'll be pretty happy with some of the stuff you see there. Okay, again, all the stuff he's casting has no real threat to my Sylvanas. My creatures are just kind of outpacing his creatures. I just have better ones, and I mean like 2 for 1 better, I'd say. Excuse me. And then he's running low on cards as well while I have Arges. So this should be quickly over. He's already burned Annihilate. And I got a Fire Giant and a Power Delve still in hand. 2 active Sylvanas. And a pretty good card drawing engine going. Oh, and a 0 cost Ares too. Oh man. This deck is pretty powerful. I'm very happy with it so far. That's 2 games that were won pretty handily there, I have to say. Okay, another game where I'm starting with Venus, and it's a great start. Never a bad start when you have her. Arges coming down first, throwing him out there out front, kind of as a bait position. But there's no reason to throw him in the back. The only charging creature he could have couldn't kill him, and because of things like Nox. And if you're the Zeus in this position, you never want to play your Apollo opposite from where his guy is. It just prevents a lot of shenanigans. He should have put his guy in the back top or back bottom, and that would have prevented me from killing his guy right there. It would have made a big difference in this game, honestly. Because, as you see, I'm just punking everything he drops at this point on. That's never good. Just pumping him up. Never lucky on these Mercuries, but I didn't even get 1 hit. I guess I'd want 2 or none, to be fair, because he's obviously going to attack my Arges here. It's the only smart play. I assume he has a god that costs 6 or less in 5 cards, but maybe I'm wrong. I guess I'm wrong. So a lot of people have been playing this Clay Soldier. I wonder, is it in the basic deck or something? If any of the new the users that are on my channel are new and still have their basic decks that that Hi-Rez gives you, or you know what, I'll look after this. I'm gonna check if they have updated deck lists for the changes they made. I bet you they put that Clay Soldier in there, because I've seen a lot of people use that. Alright, this game's pretty much over. It's too much on the board. Zeus doesn't have a board wipe. And he plays crap like that, so now it's definitely almost over. It's going to keep the damage going. And then drop the Sylvanas. Sylvanas is like my siege tank. When the way is clear and I got some guys skirmishing, having a resilient guy that can lob bombs on people is always useful. It's like a Klay Thompson of creatures. It's pretty awesome. Defensive and can still drop bombs. Okay, another game where I'm starting with Venus. I'm feeling pretty blessed here. Still sporting that Zoidberg icon. Hopefully trying to get my, I think it's the Freya one for this. I don't have this one yet. So this would be really awesome to win. But being that it's Bellona versus Bellona, well, looking at the tape here, I think this was the best game of the series, and it's definitely the longest. And if I remember correctly, there is multiple points of this game that I thought I was going to lose for sure. So let's see how this unfolds. I actually recorded this morning before I took care of a lot of errands and stuff, so I don't really remember exactly how this went. I just remember it was a really good game. With this deck, again, I'm really looking to play kind of defensive, but at the same time, if you play defensive against a Bellona, you're going to be setting up a really freaking annoying, like, AoE of some kind. Bludgeoned or, what is I want to call it deplorable, but I know that's not the name of it. Whatever the hell the 6 cost thing where all the people that are not standing next to an ally take damage. Deplorable, so oh god. Alright, he bludgeoned my guy there, so that's not bad. I don't know, I would haven't used it there. I really like to use bludgeoned on 7 rather than 5 when possible, unless the opponent is kind of an idiot and just gives me the, you know, the free setup, which it's happened. I mean, we all forget sometimes. I shouldn't say they're an idiot. That's not nice of me. Oh man, Terra is kind of overpowered. High res. Just saying. If she was a 6 cost, 6/5, it wouldn't be the end of the world. She's pretty freaking broken right now. I don't want to see a cost increase, but it needs to be easier to kill her, or she needs to do less damage. And, well, I guess less damage would be fine too. Either way, the 6 cost 6/6 with the roast stun is a little overpowering, but what do I know? Just balance and design games for like 5 years or whatever. I don't know. So, okay. Anyways, this guy gave me the free bludgeoned, and this is why I like to use this card on 7 or higher. You line up those 3-for-1s, even though that was technically only 2-for-1, as Vulcan gives you the little cannon there. It's still removing 3 things from the board. So, you know, semantics, whatever. Oh man, he's up on me on cards though. Let's see what he does. It's a pretty strong play. I definitely have enough to take out. This is why you don't want to be playing your Sylvanas against a player that has like 5+ cards. I know we're on turn 9, but In this matchup, I feel Sylvanas is extremely powerful. He allows you to really bully the opponent when you've already blown all your bludgeons. Again, whatever that card is that I'm thinking is called Deplorables is a common, so you don't really have to worry about that in this format, but normally you'd have to totally have that in mind. Oh, good play here. What a fantastic play with the Nox. First thing I'm going to do is take 2 off this Venus. And then 1 more. Now I should have played this Arges first, because there's a good chance that Sagittarius will spawn a god, but it's not the end of the world. And at this point, 2 to 5, it's kind of even, 2 to 5 in cards, but I have 5 to his 2 on board, so I have more on the board, but considering we're both not really trying to push hard here, I think I kind of have the advantage just because of the life. Even after he did that, I still feel like, looking at what I have in my hand, I can't really complain with the action taken there. He bludgeoned my back. Main thing is, though, he didn't get my Sylvanas because it's still in my hand. So now he's going to come down. Both of the cannon and Bacchus are not in range and would require his hero power to be able to hit my Sylvanas, so I'm not really worried about him dying at that point. Let's see here. It's a good play. Playing super defensive, trying to keep his Bacchus alive for a couple more turns, get a couple more power-ups on him. Protect is not necessarily one of the best ones to get early. I would say that Immune to Physical is one of the top ones, and then probably attacks all enemies after that, because you could get in like the middle of a bunch of enemies, like with Bellona's hero power, and then after that you attack whatever melee is around them, and it'll still hit the range and they won't strike you back because you're doing that splash attack. It's really nice. Kind of the reason Bacchus is one of my favorite characters too. He's actually the character I play in Smite. I haven't played in almost a year, but that's because I was working for like the last year up until like a month ago or so. So I really only have time to game when I'm off work and looking for that next job and stuff. But I mean, who's gonna complain when you get to play games and build your portfolio excuse me, portfolio as part of your as your homework, you know? It's pretty cool. Alright, let's see here. I'm down to 0 cards, and he's got 2. I know he's only got 1 more Sylvanas left in his deck, and I definitely have the better characters that are on the board as we speak. So, well, with the Venator, that kind of... Oh, hopefully he doesn't have the bludgeon. If he bludgeons me here, I could be in trouble. More the Clay Soldier. The infamous Clay Soldier. I gotta really think about how to not get blasted here by a bludgeon for both my Sylvanases here. So I'm gonna play this other one all the way back here and split the damage if he does have a bludgeon still. Defensive placement is like stupidly important in this game, almost as much as offensive importance. And to be honest, playing against a Bellona kind of screws all that up. Well, I shouldn't say that. It makes it more difficult to calculate, but this is a really good play by him right there. Shackles is a very powerful card. I just prefer armaments in a meta where you know your opponent's not going to silence you pretty much. All other circumstances, I would totally play Shackles. Perfect stun. Power Delve should probably get its cost increased. Even if you increase the cost and then if it costs 8 and then make it so that it only finds 8 or above at that point, that's fine. Especially since I'm like pulling Osiris and Essentius now off of it. It's though some of those cards aren't supposed to be cast on turn 7. Alright, well, he conceded. That was a good game. Alright, it looks like we've got Nuwa versus my Roman here. Really, really good start. If you look, I already have my perfect curve. 3 through 7. He's got some pretty good cards here. Beckoning Strike finishes my guy off, but excuse me. I have my Sagittarius back here. My 5 is definitely going to be to kill this Hugh Yi here. Otherwise, I would have loved to play the Bacchus, but since he played the Hugh Yi and also drawing the second Bacchus, or I guess Bacchi now. It's a strong turn 6 play. I hate having to deal with like multiple Bacchi on the board or Bacchus. Some bocce ball going on. That Bacchus D. I don't know if you guys ever drank that energy drink. That thing gets you amped. Alright, they're dancing like synchronously. I have a very powerful hand here with my double Power Delve and double Terra. I'm going to be first eliminating the Imperial Archer. He's quite a pain in terms of dealing additional damage, but oh, he definitely baited me there. Depending on what I get out of this, Artemis is really good. That's a very strong situational pick here. Because that stupid fire pit barbecue thing around his base right now. Picking the Ares is probably not the best. I can't even bludgeon the guy. Just pick up a second fire giant for the deck. 5/8 that deals 4 to a target. Can't complain there for 8. It's like a super chalk. Very strange. Not as strange anymore. Guan Yu is a dream wrecker. And I'm on game 5 too, so kind of clenching my butthole here a little bit. I'm not going to play games with him though, with this wonderful hand I have. That was a definite misplay there. Not playing my Tenacity first. Should have played that on the 5/5. But it's okay. I think I got the finish on the board, moving him back and hitting for 7. Well, guys, good luck this weekend, and hopefully you have luck in getting that cutesy Freya icon. Happy New Year, all. Happy Festivus, and happy birthday, Stephanie. Happy 31st.